Hi everyone, my name is Frank Leal. I am an English major with a minor in communication. I actually just recently switched my minor to communication because my goal, my career aspirations are to become a sports broadcaster, a sports writer of some kind. Since I was young, sports has always been my passion growing up watching Tim Duncan and Emmett Smith. Since I was 5 years old, I'd come home from school and watch Sports Center instead of Disney Channel or whatnot. But I was also the sports editor at the Paisano newspaper, our UTSA newspaper organization, for 3 semesters. So I got into sports writing. So English and communication seems to be the right path for me. I wanted to get into the sports media, whether it be writing or broadcasting, either one. I'm passionate about both. I love doing both. So as far as the hero story that we're supposed to tell on here, I don't really have a hero story that I could think of from work, professional, academic, but there was something that did happen very recently, last weekend actually, that I would like to share something, and it is related to communication. It had to do with media, which I imagine is a big part of communication. So anyway, my younger cousin actually just graduated high school. She's 18 years old, graduated high school, so we had asked her a long time ago if she was going to want a graduation party, because you have to, reserve venues years in advance, or a year or so in advance, and she said no at the end of her junior year, so we never planned on it. Then at Easter, just 2 months before graduation, all of a sudden she says she wanted one. But I mean, obviously we can't rent out anything because it's too late and everything's reserved, so we decided to use our house here in Alice, Texas. And so it was the last minute. We were scrambling to do everything, scrambling to set up everything within 2 months, trying to find a theme, decorations, order stuff, had to transform our house, and anyway, we got it done. However, there was an unfortunate death in the family. Literally like the week of the graduation party. Graduation party was supposed to be Saturday, and we had a death in the family on Monday, so 5 days before. And due to that, my uncle, who was the father of the graduate, said, or he was going to make a video, the graduation videos that take the journey through their lives and all that, very touching, very emotional. And he didn't have a lot of time to make it due to the funeral arrangements, the services, all that, because it was my other uncle, his brother, who had passed away. And this was just, again, 2 weeks ago. So anyway, he stayed up all night making the video. The night before the party, he comes in. He had trouble all morning. The party's going to have to be at 6 o'clock. He comes to the house like at 4 hours before to help get everything set up, try and work everything. And he finally was able only to burn 1 copy of the disc, just 1. And our TV is nice, but it's very old. It's a old flat screen, and it's probably, I think, at least 10 or 11 years old. And we could not figure out how to get the video to play on the TV. And he's generally very good with technology. I'm not that good with technology, but being a younger generation than he is, obviously I'm decent enough to figure a lot of stuff out. And what happened was, sorry, I keep glancing that way and looking at the TV. But what happened was, basically, we could not get the remotes to change like the HDMI input or whatnot, but one remote is like a universal remote because it's dead. So I resorted to the side buttons on the TV and trying to input everything, and it seemed like every time I would find something that I led to a solution, just backfired. It wasn't working. So, and I was the one that said, hey, you know what, I'll figure this out, because they're messing with putting tables in the right spots, getting chairs down, going to storage. They're having a lot of stuff on their plate, my mom and my uncle. So I was in charge of the TV, and I was getting pretty frustrated, and I said, you know what, I can't give up on this. Like, this is a very important part of the graduation party. I mean, he worked very hard on this. He stayed up all night making it for his daughter. It's his only daughter. We're going to have to watch this video. One way or another, we're going to have to watch this video. And I found like HDMI settings, because for some reason the TV would not let me change HDMI inputs. First of all, and then the TV, like I said, is very old, so it doesn't like push out or pull out from the wall like a lot of them do. And so I had to go like put my hand back there like directly by feel and to see where the HDMI cord would go. Plug it in. Finally, after struggling for, it felt like 20 minutes, I was ready to give up, and I was like, you know what, I don't know, we're gonna have to grab a TV, my small TV from the other room, and just bring it in the living room or see what we can, everybody watch it on the laptop and pass it around. But I was like, you know what, if I can't change the HDMI, I'll just unplug the cable box, put it back in. And so anyway, I resorted to getting my Xbox 360, which hadn't been touched in at least 4 years. And I didn't even know of it, that thing still turned on, and it did. And my batteries were dead, obviously. But I used the wire controller instead, the one that didn't need batteries, that I had had to blow some dust off of it, some cobwebs off of it, but I got it working. Brought it to the living room, and because that plays DVDs, I remembered. I was like, hey, this old Xbox that plays DVDs, it could work. So I found the HDMI, and instead of just trying to keep messing with the HDMI, and I decided just to unplug the cable box, and then I plugged the Xbox into the HDMI port where the cable was, and that worked. And then I was able to get signed into my Xbox accounts and all that hadn't been used in 4 years, which is a whole other task on its own. And lo and behold, it worked. I felt so accomplished when I heard the little noise of the Xbox turning on, and when we put the video in and it started playing. So it was great, and then we just went from there. But real quick, I want to go over the limit. I have like 30 seconds. 3 things I wanted to learn about this class, like I was saying in this class. Technology, how it's involved in mass communication. I know technology is a very large part of communication now, with everything from Twitter, especially social media stuff. Also, another goal of mine was to learn how to receive criticism a little bit better. In the past, I've always been a little, I guess, maybe overly sensitive to criticism. I don't take it very well, but this class, looking at the syllabus, I was seeing that there's a lot of peer review activities, so I'm hoping that gets me better in that aspect of things, and also to learn how to avoid speech fillers better, like and stuff like that, especially if I want to be an aspiring broadcaster. So with that, thank you for watching. I know I went a little over the time limit. Hope you all don't mind. Thank you. Looking forward to working with everybody this semester. Thanks.